Allah, Yahweh, Allah Haganawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shema, Yashar Allah, Yahweh, Allah Haganawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shema, Yashar Allah, Yahweh, Allah Haganawa, Yahweh, Achad, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Sai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Sai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Sai, Bahashem Kahakudash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. I'm Zahar, spirit winning lawyer, and today I want to go into a topic entitled one of the hardest drugs to shake is the standard American diet. He has trap houses all over the globe. All right, one of the hardest drugs to shake is the standard American diet. Esau has trap houses all over the globe. Okay? And the reason why I'm going into this topic, man. All right, I was just thinking about some things, and the spirit is on the body to change the way we eat. And I think there has been a range within a diet, all right, within Great Millstone, when it comes to brothers. But I think most brothers, all brothers, they experience some type of cleansing, some type of mental, spiritual, physical benefit, all right, to cleansing and detoxing, all right, because essentially you're cleansing and detoxing from the chemicals that's in the food, man, that comes from the standard American diet. And even if you don't eat the worst of the worst, even if you don't pull up the chicken, the gas, eat the gas station chicken, even if you don't drink cheap beers, it's just certain things that you might eat that's in a great area of health, all right, and it can compound over an extended period of time, and you're not associating that with possible what Esau would call ADD, or just being tired, or your body not doing what it's supposed to do, or your body is not looking like how it's supposed to look. You know what I mean? And long story short, and that's what that's something I've learned about the way we eat, is that you'll have problems, but you don't realizing that you're causing your problem because you're consuming the substance that's causing the problem. But the standard American diet, what they call the SAD diet, is actually it's like substance abuse. It's like substance abuse. It's like you're ingesting these chemicals. The chemicals is like a Trojan horse inside the alleged food, all right, the so-called food, all right, but the chemicals like the Trojan horse, all right, that's gonna basically poison our bodies, man. Okay, and as much as Esau has these drug busts, like down here in Jackson, there might have been like 100 pounds of meth confiscated. It was a large number, all right, in Jackson, Mississippi, all right, or in the surrounding area. I can't remember now, but they found so many pounds of meth, all right. They found what else was it, like marijuana or cocaine or something. But Esau has these drug busts, right? He puts it on the news, like yeah, look what we found, and like for decades, Jake has been getting arrested for marijuana possession, which is a plant. Now you don't smoke the plant, but nonetheless, it's a herb. It comes from Yahweh's earth. All right. So wait a minute. If you're caught with marijuana, that's illegal, and you go to prison. That's how it's been, especially before the legalization of marijuana. All right. But if you're caught with a tobacco plant, you don't get incarcerated. You got two plants, both naturally grow from the earth, a marijuana plant and a tobacco plant. But Esau has a monopoly on that tobacco plant because, ironically, that's the meth lab. He created a meth lab out of that tobacco plant. You see? So you're not gonna compete with that meth lab he has. All right, you can't grow enough tobacco to compete with the chemicals that he has in his meth lab dealing with that tobacco. Okay, Jake get caught with marijuana. He got handcuffs on the back of the he's leaning against the back of the police car, whatever, on the side of the police car. All right, for marijuana possession, man. But meanwhile, Esau has a Marlboro Newports, or Marlboro cigarettes and Newports and Cool cigarettes and Camel, all right, at Kroger. At Kroger, you know what I mean? At Kroger, you know what I mean? Because Kroger is now like a health food store. You know what I mean? That's supposed to be like the healthier store. But this man sells cigarettes inside of Kroger. You see? Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters who are tuning in to this live stream. Shalom, Elder Hawad. Hey, shalom, Gemmas, Virgin Islands, Straight Gate. Hey, shalom to you all. Okay? Let me know if it gets too windy. You know, I can just walk to my car. There's nothing. Okay? But, long story short, like I said, this man's a hypocrite. All right? And Esau enchanted our people with these implants and these sellouts. All they do is talk about, especially when, you know, my generation was growing up, so-called millennials, they made a whole culture out of trap. And so many Jakes went to prison because they had trap houses, what they'll call a bando, which is short for an abandoned house in which you sell drugs in. All right, meanwhile, this man, Esau Edom, he has trap houses all throughout the world called fast food restaurants. And he has a franchise, he has a chain. All right, just how you have women with their breast out inside this room. All right, there's a bunch of women that's fucking naked. All right, they chopping down the cocaine or whatever, right? Titties out and shit. All right, but up in McDonald's and Rallies and Checkers, what do you have? You have people, maybe women in the back. All right, they're in uniform, but they're prepping the food. You know, they're setting the buns out, setting the frozen patties out. How do I know? Because I did that shit when I was young. You know, hey, Shabbat Shalom. You know, I'm in the kit at the little fast food joint, prepping the food. It's the same shit. Dropping it in the grease, you know. But the stats are out. We know, based off Esau's numbers and what he's telling us, how many people a year die from the standard American diet. And I'm doing this because, you know, brothers go on cleanses, detoxes, sisters go on cleanses, and you feel the difference when you release the chemicals from your body. When you withdraw from the chemicals in your body that's basically Trojan horse themselves in your food. All right, Esau Trojan horse the chemicals in what we call food, and then the chemicals, it alters our thinking, it alters our mood, our frequency, our vibe, our spirit, all that, man. Then it ultimately it ruins your health, you know, because your body is very intelligent, so it knows this is not from nature. I can't digest this. I can't utilize it. So it stores it, and a lot of times in fat facilities, man, of the body, and it stores it. You know, I mean, I'm no licensed physician, all right, but I know that like your body stores it, or it could just it's a poison to your body, man. But once again, when you go on these cleanses and detoxes, you know, you're withdrawing from those ultimately drugs, man. The standard American diet is a drug, and when you detox from the standard American diet, it's a drug withdrawal. That's why it's hard to shake sugar. It's hard to not eat sugar. It's hard to, you know, not pull up the fast food restaurants. Now, myself, it's been years since I've done that. That's not really a thing anymore. Apostle said years ago, like, stay away from these fast food restaurants, man. But now it's really like, man, stay away from just consistently eating out all the time. Anyway, some of us have weight issues because we just eat out all the time. If you were to cook your food, you'll probably lose a little weight just from cooking your own food. You know? But man, this man he's the dope boy. He's a drug dealer, man. Then he drains you like a battery on these jobs, and you leave a job and run to the trap house, or you go to the drive-thru and you get your food from Wendy's, Taco Bell, Zaxby's, Rallies, and it slowly depletes. It slowly drains you, strips you of nutrients because it has no nutrients to begin with. All right, and it slowly deteriorates you. Right, you deteriorate it. Right, then you get sick, you have these ailments, then you go to the other drug user, the drug dealer, big pharma. I know this video's gonna get taken down. When you go to the other drug dealer, big pharma, all right, he puts you on his pills, his drugs, man, and you just stay on that till you die. And that's a very mediocre, unhappy life, man. I don't care how much money you make, man. Our health is more important. It says that in the scriptures. Health is more important than wealth, man. All right. Jake out here talking about honey packs and shit. You ever wonder why your ride can't get on hard by itself? You ever go to the source instead of trying to shortcut this stuff, man? Hey, poor blood circulation to the ride. That's a sign of poor health, man. That's a sign of poor cardiovascular health. That's a sign of a poor circulatory system, man. That means you're not getting blood down there, but your body is not compartmentalized. So if you're not getting blood down south, all right, you might not be getting blood to the heart or to the mind. That's where strokes come from, heart attacks come from. Look at that. The water elder. Sirach 30 and 15. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. And as the longer I go on this truth, the more, I've been on different, I hate to keep saying diets. I think Benjamin down there call it a livet. It's not a diet, it's a livet. This is how you live. But the way I've changed the way I eat over the years, a lot of times, man, it's rooted in just processed food. Like, you realize it's rooted in processed food. Like Elder Pascal Bar, I heard him mention the carnivore diet, but I'm also aware that, it's the elimination of processed food. I've been keto. Yeah, a lot of ways that I felt being plant-based, I felt that way as keto, and you realize, like, when it comes to how you feel, it just you've really eliminated the processed food out of your life. But this man, he's a demon, man. You got the Edomite, like an elder. I think who said that? The elder, one of the elders in the camp said that. At camp, I'm definitely gonna walk to my car. He said an Edomite is a demon. We call him the devil. He is the devil. He's an adversary. But he's a demon, man. This man is a demon. Man, I walked past some Edomites before I kicked off the live stream. Just an Edomite couple, and they just walked past me. They just looked at me like on some Get Out vibes. Like, usually they say good morning, but this time this particular couple, they just looked at me. So it was weird. You know what I mean? But Esau is a living demon. That's why he's stripped of melanin. It's like a signet, a sign that, like, this man he's not of life. He's wasted. Now, granted, we have Israelite foreigners who might look more like the other nations, and that's not to take anything from them, because we're not those Israelite groups that think that all Israelites look like Shaft or LeBron James. All 12 tribes were just black people or just black indigenous. We got a whole section of Israelite foreigners, all right, that's not in the inner cities of Atlanta or in Chicago or in New Orleans or in Jackson or in Little Rock. No, they're somewhere in Bulgaria getting treated like shit in the slums, and they're the outcasts, all right, and they're most likely Northern Kingdom. They might be from the tribe of Naphtali or Asher, because they carry those customs, and it makes me think that they are from the tribe of Naphtali, they are from the tribe of Asher. You see? They're getting treated like shit in this planet. Alright? And the curses fall on them, and they're systemically oppressed because small heads know who they are, And they're getting treated worse than Northern Kingdom in the United States. All right, so I want to make that clear too. An Israelite doesn't just look like me with a big beard, man. All right. You know. But the point is, man, this man, Krispy Kreme donuts. Don't you understand? That's a trap house. Like Krispy Kreme, like that's like the drug. That's a drug dealer, man. All right. You know, that's a trap house, man. Burger King, fast food is a drug. Food doesn't work like that, man. Cooking doesn't work like that. Let me get this. Let me fix something up right quick. Get in this car. All right. And I also want to say the water, Yahweh Bahashmal Shai, ate the water to you brothers who pushed this word, man. You know, you turning your channel and just is constantly putting up videos, you know, not just people who watch my video or watch other brothers' videos. You too have videos and you push the word, man. You know, your labor is not in vain. But back to the topic. Man, this man has trap houses all around the globe, and you'll have blue zones, you know, parts of the world where people live to be 100. They'll be in Costa Rica and all these different things, and they're basically living off the land. And Esau just feels like he just has to bring a McDonald's down there. And the moment he brings a McDonald's down there, and the Gen Zers get a hold to it, and the millennials, that's when everybody gets the big backs and they have wide butts, and you know, that's when they get the type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes, and they become pre-diabetic, you know, because there's a global fucking drug called the Standard American Diet, man. You see? That's why it says a cheerful and a good heart will have care of his meat and diet. But part of having care of your meat and diet on this side is researching what's supposed to go in your body and what's not supposed to go into your body beyond the dietary law. Because once again, you could pull up to Burger King and there's allegedly no bacon in the burger or whatever. It's still a fucking low-grade processed meat. And processed meat is classified as a level 1 carcinogen, which means that that's the chances of you getting cancer is at a level 1. All right, as far as carcinogens, which is in the same category as a cigarette. So eating processed meat, that's like smoking a cigarette, man. You see? But it's not banned from the United States. But this soursop, this particular fruit, will be banned from the United States. Shalom, Yahweh This fruit will be banned. Like FDA says this shouldn't be here. This causes cancer. Like, no, your shit causes cancer. You see? Fruit was originally made for the body. The original food for animals, fruit. All right? Now, in this world, it'll be dangerous just to exclusively eat fruit because this man, all right, he stripped the earth of nutrients because he doesn't keep the dietary law. When this demon, this cancer came to the Western world, he didn't keep the land Sabbath. All right? He crossbred certain fruit and stuff. You see? He didn't keep the land Sabbath. He didn't do any of those things, man. All right? Hey, like the elder in Dallas said last night, between the flood and Esau being in power, man, the planet pretty fucked up. The planet Earth is pretty fucked up. Somewhere between the flood and this nigga being in power, this demon, this devil being in power, the Earth is pretty fucked up. So it's hard to go back to that Adam way, you know? But we do the best we can, you know? But it's all about enlightenment and knowing better and doing better. And Esau, he fucked the planet up, man. Esau fucked the planet up, man. All right? That's why in Revelation, what's that, 18? I will destroy him who destroyed the earth. I will destroy him who destroys the earth, man. Who is that? There's actually a group of people, a nation of people with their elites running the earth. All right, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And people are mourning, man. People don't know what gender they are. People don't know what their orientation is. People don't know, come on, man. You know? Nobody can keep money. Their debt is higher than their income, you know? Because this man is in power, man. Depending on the system, is backfired. That's pretty much the point, man. All right, like I'm sitting outside, right, by a body of water, or surrounding the body of water is little restaurants. They're sitting on the body of water, like right at the dock. And guess what the restaurants sell? You guessed it, seafood, crab, lobster, well, definitely crabs. All right, seafood, abominable food, man. All right, but that's pretty much the point, man. You know, the hardest drug to shake is the standard American diet. You know, you look at our aunts and our uncles, a lot of them have had cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, they've had strokes, some have had heart attacks. It's all rooted in the standard American diet. I remember my uncle told me about 10 years ago, he said he let go of red meat. He just ate chicken and fish, and he just felt better. He hardly ever got sick. I think he took vitamin C or something. He said he hardly ever got sick. And that was just from taking red meat out of his diet. Now, of course, you know, Jake wasn't, I guess, into lamb meat and all that. But, you know, a lot of Jakes, they had to have some type of, everything through. A lot of Jakes had to go through some type of suffering to change the way they ate. But it's all rooted in the standard American diet, man. All right, Taco Bell, Wendy's, shit we grew up off of, man. It's garbage. But those are drug dealers. The owners of those chains, those are drug dealers. Those are evil drug dealers, man. So if you can do a drug bust with a meth lab, you got to do a drug bust with the cool cigarettes, Marlboro. All right, you got to do a drug bust with the owners of these corporations, man. But you're not, because America's a corporation, and it's all about the owners of corporations, which are the biggest drug dealers, man. All right, KFC, all that bullshit, man. That's why the Most High gave us women. Now, we're in Egypt. We are yet this day in our captivity. But you have to understand, your restoration is supposed to be your woman. Because what does restaurant mean? It means to restore. So ideally, when you go out and get the bread, you go out there and labor, all right? Your restoration is supposed to be the femininity and the duties that come from your woman. She's your restaurant, all right? So she's the nourisher. A lot of brothers, we've dealt with women, they can't do shit, you know? But no, your herbal cabinet, your woman, if you're not a brother that's into the herbs, or you don't make the herbs yourself, your woman is supposed to have the herbal apothecary, all right, within your home. You see? See, if you nourish, you don't have to rush to the hospital as much. So if a woman is a nurse, the fuck is this man just standing here like that? Just an Edomite just standing with his arms folded, you know? He's about, I don't know, 50 yards away, but he just standing with his arms folded, man. This is weird, but fuck him, you know? But, long story short, you're supposed to go to your woman, you know? She's the nourisher. And I noticed that when nourishing is just a preventive measure, all right? Because when you nourish, you know, you nourish your little ones. You put in the right food inside of your little ones. You put in the right herbs inside of your little ones. They don't really have emergencies as much. That's just people in general. When you take these preventive measure herbs, you know, they don't get sick as much, you know, because you're building up their immune defense. You know, you're building up their immune defense, man. But also when you come home, well, let's say you at work, your woman has food for you made at work, man. Because now you have these surrogate women called snack machines and vending machines, and 95%, 99% of what's in the vending machine is trash, man. It's trash. it has no life in it. You know, real food has life in it. Real food, if you set it out, it'll rot. It doesn't have preservatives. You see? So you putting chemical substance in your body, and it eventually ruins your body over a particular period of time, extended period of time. So really, our women have been outsourced because the woman is supposed to be the nourisher. All right, so the woman is supposed to know how to make the juices. All right, and Eve gets mad when you get a younger woman. Let's say you get 30s and she's maybe 21 or something, or you're 40 and she's 20, and then so you're grooming her. Yeah, you're supposed to groom her. You groom her to be your helpmeet. She's your restoration. So when you come home, yep, you come home, you're developing a woman to be your assistant. All right, to be your nourisher. And I think like this because, you know, I make an effort to get into the health, right? It's kind of my thing. And long story short, you're developing a woman to be the nourisher. So yeah, you're supposed to have a cabinet that's an apothecary, man. Your cabinet is supposed to be an apothecary. Okay? Oh, your woman's supposed to make the juices and the smoothies and the different fruit bowls and the acai bowls, and you know, you might have the deer meat and the lamb meat, or you know, she prepares that shit. And you might be the weekend, you might throw everything on the grill, and then you eat it later throughout the week. But she's supposed to have the immune defense. No Israelite woman should be thinking about getting a jab, man. Y'all, no Israelite woman should have even been considering. Maybe, you know, you're the nourisher. Esau's hospitals is good for emergencies, man. You got blood shattering everywhere, blood just going out. Yeah, go to the hospital. Or you've done all the herbs, you've followed all the herbal protocols, you followed the fruit in the herbal protocol, the alkaline diet protocol, and it's still not working. It's like, okay, go to the hospital. You know. Or you'll get diagnosed, and you know, you might not use the prescription. I'm not telling you but don't use the prescription per se, and you use the herbal route. You know, it's based off your discretion, but ideally you'll want to get that scripture the other Hawaii put up. Shalom, bro. 1 Timothy 5:14. I would therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. Your Israelite woman is a little helpmeet. That's what she is. She's a little helpmeet, man. She's a nourisher. Yeah, that's your princess, that's your rib and all that. That's your boo. But she has domestic duties, man. You know? And how they go into the divine feminine, it's not that it's divine, it's just but it's powerful. It's from the divine, it's from the Heavenly Father. But it's a spirit. I see a Elam couple, man, walking, right? I see an Elam couple walking, man. And it's a man and a woman. I know she's a nourisher. I don't even have to question that. I know she's a fucking nourisher because her culture makes her a nourisher. You know? Her culture makes her a nourisher, man. You know? But you, in mass, in America at least, you don't hear about Elam just having these obese rates and shit because they culturally walk all the damn time. And a lot of their food they have has herbs and spices in it. You know, and I don't really just see Elam on the standard American diet like that. All right, Proverbs 31:10, who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies, man. And part of a woman being, you know, having that excellent spirit is that she can nourish, you know, because imagine, and some of us can't help it because, hey, we're in Babylon, man. It sucks to have our little ones go to a public school and eat some bullshit. Like that, y'all remember that little box, that rectangle pizza with the peppermint coat, man? And the chocolate milk. You know? Come on, man. It's bullshit. Bullshit. we're supposed to have women, especially when your little ones are from the infant state to the infant state to like 4 or 5, man. They're supposed to be under that woman, but that woman is supposed to be that nourisher, man. But you too, you're supposed to be nourished by your woman. You know. Let me get that. Let me get these scriptures. Proverbs 31:12. For she would do him good and not evil all the days of her life. The grace of a wife delighted her husband, and her discretion would fat his bones. Right? And it's funny because when brothers get women who are nourishers, that brother might have been real skinny, or he might have been like lean, and he'll pick up like 10, 20 pounds. You can see it. You know, I've definitely done that. You know, I might have been 190, and I got with a particular rib who like to cook. Now you like 210. So damn, I gotta, you know. But that's that nourish. Hey, that's what they supposed to do, man. You know. Proverbs 31:27. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. And because a woman now, if they were at the house all day, what would they do? They'd be on social media all day. You know? They'd be on social media all day. You know how much you can do with this technology era, with this info era? If you had a helpmeet that was actually watching those videos that showed her how to make different recipes and how to marinate the lamb, and like, even if you could afford to have a woman, you know, at the house, and she really was a nourisher. She's watching all these videos, how to make herbal soaps, how to make your natural soaps, how to make salves, how to make the lip chap, how to make shampoo, how to make there's different creams and lotions, all right, how to make tinctures, the extracts, all right. Just, and you might be working, all right, you might be doing the heavy lifting, but if you did have a woman, you know, at the house, if you could afford that, man, you know, and she really y'all really going half, because your half is external, you know, you outside making money, but she's inside building. She ain't just chilling or just let me fix his food right quick to see on his way. Like, nah, it don't take 8 hours or 10 hours to fix my food. You really had a woman that was building while you're building. All right. Hey, brother, you killing it. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Right. And she, like I said, she ain't just sitting there watching social media all day, man. Okay. But like I said, every brother should have an herbal apothecary in his house, man. All right, every brother should have, and I'm saying like you should, like like brothers got women, the women should be on that level is what I'm saying, you know. But we know it doesn't play out like that a lot. But yeah, we should all have herbal apothecaries in our house, man. We should all have a restaurant inside our apartments or houses. All right, that's why you have a food pantry. You have the cabinets. All right, you have the refrigerator. You have a stove. That's the restaurant. All right. You have the washer and dryer connection. You have your helpmeet. It's supposed to be on that level. All right, and she might have certain side businesses and work from home. That, you know, because we be on social media, right? And it be the Israelite sister that's like, hey, shalom, brother. Like, hey, shalom, sister. She's like, have you heard about this particular investment? Like, nah. But she hustling, you know? She hustling. I respect that go-getter spirit, you know what I mean? You know? You could work from home these days, you know? I mean, you know, brothers, you might be into the things they be selling, but, you know, me, I'd be like, it's bad timing right now. But I respect them, their hustling spirit, you know what I mean? We in Egypt, it ain't just about sewing a helpmeet. I'm sorry, sewing shit all day. Like, you gotta be a hustler in Babylon, you know? Desire sincere milk. Anna, Tobit's wife, worked with her hands to support the family while Tobit was blind. There you go. And even in Babylon, amongst the nation of Israel, Southern Kingdom, right? Baby boomers, I even say Generation X, baby boomers, definitely the silent generation, the generation that would be like 90 years old now, 100 years old now. You know, they were supporters. They were there. They was doing it. You know, they worked. You know, especially me being from the South and having. I remember my grandma, man. My grandma's mom knew how to sew actual quilts, those big quilts, and they knew a lot of old school way of survival. And they had food preserves and all that. I'm quite sure your grandparents did too, or maybe your great grandparents. But that's pretty much the point, you know. You know, Esau's society is a fucking drug. But when a woman is really in her Israelite spirit, man, that's that sanctuary. You know, you walk into a home, there may be plants everywhere, might be gemstones, certain gemstones like amethyst, rose quartz, you know, that just calm your mind. I remember, and I know I'm kind of ranting. If brothers want to get off and do your thing, hey, I get it. But I remember at one particular apartment I had plants everywhere. You know, I had plants and I had gemstones and stuff. And the brother had a headache before he came into the apartment. Then when he came into the apartment, he was like, "Bro, I feel it. I feel a vibe. You know, I felt something." He was like, "Man, he had a headache when he walked in. He no longer had a headache." You know, and because the gemstones, people think it's mystical, but the gemstones is just medicine, bro. It's just energetic medicine. You know. Let me get this from an elder Hawaii. But the gemstones is medicine. My mother and her sisters knew how to sew and make food from scratch, and that. Come on, man. All right, everything is already in the earth. All right, like an ox, right? That's a tractor. A donkey, that's the pickup truck. A horse, that's the car. The camel, that's the car. All right, you know. But the woman, that's the employee. That's the helpmeet. That's your assistant. Sarah was Abraham's personal assistant. But in America being a corporation, Esau wants everybody to work for him. So people don't look at the man like, well, that's the leader, that's the ruler, he's the Lord, and those are his helpmeets. You know? It's like, nah, Jake got hoes. You know, he gotta sneak back and come on, man. These are your helpmeets, man. And some Jakes are catching on. They be filming a polygamous lifestyle, but even them, sometimes Jake be nasty with it. Like, it be like some freaky shit, you know? The women be lesbians and shit, you know? But sometimes Jake be on point with it, but we not here to just get a whole bunch of wives, you know, or just make a whole lot of kids. But, hey, man, you know, when Jake got that help, man, it helps, you know? But Esau outsourced our women. That's all he fucking did. Women's liberation. Yeah, what does liberation mean? In that sense, he liberated her to work for him. He was going into sexual liberation too. But women they're still fucking workers. And they know it now. Like, I'm in debt. I got these student loans. Esau sold you a dream, Keisha. You know, you still got sister wives, because your coworkers are basically sister wives, man. And y'all all pouring into this company's pot, which is actually going to actual families who run that company. It's not some invisible entity. All right, it's actually family or families that run that company. And y'all are all pouring into a stranger's bank account. Good job, Keisha. You did it with your educated self. You know? You really thought you was doing something. You ain't doing shit. And some Eve, they got a little bag, you know, but a lot of Eve are in debt. And even if they got a bag, that doesn't mean that they're just happy. You can only take so many girls trips, man. You can only, you know, get so many fucking pina coladas and Long Island iced teas, man. But you're gonna have a void missing. All right. Hey, the water, bro. Sirach 39:21. A man need not to say, "What is this? Wherefore is that? For he have made all things for their uses." But yeah, let me get out the live stream, man. The water for tuning in. I hope this is edifying. You know, we're gonna get our nation back in the kingdom. You know, just the little things. You know. With that, I hope you were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Chakodash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone Ruel, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect, Abba Baal, Kum Yasha Allah, Shalom.